So it's the first story in the book, and it's called Vaster and Kinesi Chief. I'm doing awesome.
Doing great, Guillaume.
I know, it's sexy. Thank you, Rachel. Vaster and Kinesi Chief. I like your mistake, good mistake, I write to Anika in an email. I didn't know Anika, and then I saw her read poetry at some event, and then read some of her poetry online and liked it. And then we met and talked a few times, and for no reason began joking about constantly making bad decisions and horrible, distressing mistakes in our personal life. And then somehow started writing daily-ish emails to update one another on the new mistakes we'd made. We both like mistakes. The mistake thread of probably intense self-loathing is the title of our email conversation. My roommate found an abandoned cat and brought the cat in, and the cat is antisocial. It never climbs on furniture, hides in one room, and only comes out when it thinks no one is around. Earlier, I walked in on the cat petting itself using its own reflection in the mirror. Last night, I had uninspired sex with a person, and I'm seeing the person again on Thursday. I write to Anika. She seems to have unnecessary self-esteem issues, so we're bonding over them. She kept describing relationships in terms of either healthy or unhealthy. And I thought, that's such an odd classification. Where did that come from? Seems insane. Can we come up with a better adjective to describe relationships? Anika is 7 years younger than me, but her past relationships have felt like being bored by a bowl, forcing her to fast forward through her emotional maturation process. She seems disillusioned and also like she's deliberately trying to stay away from love or relationships or any of those things, unless she had complete control over the terms of engagement, then maybe. We write poetry, everyone hates us, so we have to hate each other also. I'm so unmotivated at work that I don't even have the energy to quit. Lonely would be a better adjective, a lonely or unlonely relationship. Someone said, come to blizzards, and I wanted to say no, and because email reads. If you replace sleep with stress, that's how my week was. I could hear snowflakes falling and melting inside my head. But I felt energized from the beer, and also I wanted to get more wasted than my friends, who have no responsibilities and get drunk by default a lot. If they could have fun, then I deserve to have at least twice the fun coffee. My post-beer logic is usually shitty like that. At Blizzards, my energy level went down quickly. I was sitting there, it was like being a drool against a pint of beer in my hand. I said genetic stuff like, what are you drinking? And the music is very loud. And sat in the dark and felt bored, and then laughed at myself and then felt bored again. I got not that much sleep, and in the morning it felt like my skull was cracked, and like a flower was being grown through the crack. I steal so much tea from work, I don't even need tea anymore, I just don't want them to have it. I am underwhelmed by the pool of sexual candidates in this town, and if I keep trying, it's mostly out of boredom, probably. I didn't know cats could have seizures, but apparently this cat is a cat that goes into shock and starts convulsing and throws up a lot, and then looks mentally disoriented for maybe an hour. Later, the cat looks at me as if I was the one that hurt. I think I really like Anika now, but also it's never going to happen, which is sad. I'm so tired. The only thing I'm good at right now is staring thoughtlessly at the screen. Anika's chat message reads. I'm really good at it though. When I press the keys on the keyboard, words appear in the chat box, but it's like I only have a small amount of control over them. That girl I had sex with, I say to Anika over beers. For some reason, her dad had given her a ride, so we had to shake hands through her car window. He left, and so we sat at the table and drank things and talked about other things. It didn't take long for me to feel like there was some sort of invisible glass window between us, and maybe a lack of positive intimacy also. I opened the fridge and grabbed 2 aluminum cans. We bought beer earlier, and the beer we bought seems to have awarded itself a blue ribbon for prettiest beer. As a communicator, she's like a walled garden or something. I basically had no idea what she was thinking or how she was thinking it. It felt like we were playing a game of emotional poker, trying to protect ourselves by keeping our intentions hidden from one another. We weren't being honest or saying what we were thinking, which never leads anywhere other than disappointment or slow burn. I wish people would say more concrete things like, Anika says, like, I like this person and would be okay with that person and me having sex, and then after that, reevaluating whether we wanted to have sex again in the future or not. Buy nothing, move forward linearly through time, never think anything. I'm going to stop there. That was an excellent. I'm going to read a poem to you guys. It's called I'm Angry at Something Not Essential. I'm angry at something not essential. My dad was a dad when he was my age. The only thing I'm a dad to these days is the amount of rice that I make, either an insane amount or a disappointing amount. My dad's parenting style involved expressing anger a lot, even when no anger was left, and he had to fake it. My parenting style would involve teaching my kids to let their Facebook accounts experience reality for them, while they would draw further and further away to some meta place with the rainforest climate of Western Oregon, maybe, and once there, express anger safely about how there is no correct amount of rice to be made. I keep misreading the word suburbs as succubus. Talking about my parents these days makes me feel like I'm one of those sad, tired farm animals at the mall that's just there to be comforted and fed peanuts. I'm angry at my dad's woody fridge magnets for having a better grip on life than him. I'm angry at my dad, but I don't seem to be able to tell him that directly. I'm angry at all the sad, tired farm animals of Western Oregon. I want to make a snowman out of rice with someone else's dad. I want all the rice grains in the world to have Facebook accounts. I don't want to be my dad. I want to be big ups. So that was a goal. Rachel, am I still sexy?
Yeah, really.
Good. Really sexy. Would you sing more or less?
Probably sexier.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I love that. Okay. I'm just going to finish by reading some tweets. And I have, like, what, I think 16. Is that 117? That's good. Okay. Yeah. 1. Seems likely that by now Seems likely that by now I would have directed a Japanese role-playing game about stealing rice from your roommates had I randomly moved to Japan in 2007. 2. Sometimes when I don't know how to go out, I just convince myself I hate everyone. 3. Experimental reverse dollar store where people pay for the items they shoplift, but not the one they purchase. 4. First draft of Live and Learn was probably live and feel devastated from time to time. 5. Keep suspecting characters on M&M packaging. Keep suspecting characters on M&M packaging of being on drugs, and then accusing them in my head of not sharing. 6. Seems like we would all feel less alone and insane if more people started live tweeting their never-ending process of choosing what to wear before they go out. 7. I suddenly want a tattoo that reads, filled with regrets, invite me to parties. 8. Either it's not going to go anywhere or it's going to